are the people of Mercury. I am your interplanetary host, Travis Montgomery. These views reflect one planet and one planet alone.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Mercury's Cast. I am your host, Travis Montgomery. Welcome to everyone for the 30th episode, which I am kind of proud of. We almost beat the last podcast that I was on, Mr. Sean Lindell. I'm pretty sure he's going to listen to this at 44. That's really my only goal, is just to beat the last one at 44. Just kidding. We're going to go. No, I don't plan on stopping this anytime soon. We got 3 people on with me today, returning, one new. So let's just, Darin with the mouthful of food. How are you feeling tonight?
Hungry.
Great. Love it.
Sorry, I'm a man of many words right now.
No, that's fine. We just had to say hi to you, you know.
I'll pound this out and be done in about 30 seconds.
Tim.
What up?
Thank you for returning. I don't know if you could tell, but the last one I was kind of inebriated.
Yeah, I think I could tell.
I listened to it, and it wasn't that bad, except for I cut off the entire ending. But I'm not going to do that tonight, because this is important tonight. Tim, say hello to the people who might be listening.
What's up, everybody? I hope I don't offend or trigger anybody. I'll try my best.
I think you should be aiming to do that. That's what we're here for.
I'm a polite troll, so.
Jordan, welcome to the show. Say hello to the people who might be listening, if you would.
How's it going, people?
So Jordan is joining us because of how I get a lot of people who are vocal on Facebook, but Facebook isn't exactly the place that you want to do it, where you want to do it. So we were getting into a discussion, and that's why I started the podcast, and we were talking about doing it, so here we are. Now, I know you from Artesia High School when I went there. Did you played basketball, didn't you?
Football, basketball, track, a little bit of everything.
Yeah, you were the consummate athlete.
Yeah.
And did you play for the Cerritos Hornets too?
Yeah. Apostle's the president for Cerritos Hornets for like 15 years, something like that.
That's right. That's where I knew you were super involved somehow. I was like, that he was like super involved, not just a player, but okay, cool.
Yeah, I was there all the time.
And, So after high school, what happened with your life? Let's bring us in.
Long story short, went and played football at Liberty University, which is like a private Christian university, Falwell. Currently supporting back in Trump and all that's kind of been in the news. Yeah, that's my alma mater. Okay. Played football there, and then moved back to Cali. Currently not in Cali, and that's about it.
Well, what position were you playing in college?
Corner, defensive back.
Nice.
Defense.
You remember a guy named Kenny Frank?
Yeah, Cerritos. Played with the Hornets too, right? And then went to Cerritos High School.
And then he ended up going to university. He was a co-host for a while around here, and he'll probably be back someday.
Oh, cool.
But, you know how these things.
I got a quick question. Liberty University. You listen to Mark Levin by any chance, or read any of his books?
Nah, not really. Can't say that I have.
Oh, I'm just curious because he does a lot of plugs and stuff on his radio show and all that stuff. The Liberty University champions him pretty good. Heard a lot about it.
Yeah. There's so much paraphernalia that comes out of the school. It's just hard to keep up with all of it. It's like a million books that's coming out of there.
Liberty University. I can't say I've ever heard of it. Where is it located?
Yeah,
Lynchburg, Virginia.
Lynchburg?
Yeah, Lynchburg, Virginia.
L-I-C-H?
Lynch.
Oh, come on now. How the hell does that even happen?
Yo. So if you've heard of the Willie Lynch letters, when he says, he's starting the speech and everything, it's from that city. So basically, like slave masters, if you want to compare them to like CEOs, their CEO team building conferences were done in Lynchburg, Virginia.
Yeah.
How to like become better, slave masters.
If I was going to say that there's a couple states that harbor some real racism still today, I would say Virginia and West Virginia would probably be on that list. What would
yeah, they're up there.
That's true. There's a lot of backcountry over in one of those states. My buddy lived over there for a year, and he's black, and he was telling me that he saw some shit out there too. So
yeah, it's definitely a culture shock if you're not from out there.
Yeah.
Well, it was a culture shock for me to move into Bakersfield with all white people because I never was around all white people before.
Right.
These people are corny. No, because we grew up in Cerritos together, and
corny.
It's it's a different breed of white people out here. Let's just put it that way. I mean, everyone's cool, but
can you elaborate on that?
Okay,
I'd love to know about this different breed of white people.
So
you have to be a different breed to go out there and cook in the middle of summer.
Oh man, yeah, it's true. I survived my first summer out here.
Might be a different kind of cooking.
It's cooking meth, probably. No, there is some of that out here. It's just how do you? It's just like the corny one-liners, that everyone's got in their back pocket. That they're just waiting for that situation to unfold so they could use their one-liner. Crazier than squirrel turds, or nuttier than squirrel turds, or something like that. It's just like
or maybe like hey, dudes from Bakersfield have boogie boards behind them.
Not many, but I do.
That was my one-liner.
Yeah, they're in the ocean for a couple hours, but I still dream of getting back in the ocean. That's for sure.
Would you compare Bakersfield to like how like Temecula is out here? Like
I would, yeah.
It's similar.
It's
but the spacing and everything.
But more people, I would say. It's got a kind of a small town feel for being a big town. I don't know. I've only been out here since December, so I'm not gonna act like I'm a professional on Bakersfield. But oh man. So here we are. It's we've gotten all caught up. Darin, what's new with you? You gone on any trips lately? Tell us about something exciting.
Well, yeah, I think last time I was telling you about that new damn camera, and I've been kind of dinging out on that, getting all these software and taking photos and doing this and doing that. But that's kind of a pain in the ass, man. There's a lot more to photography than I ever would have imagined.
Huh.
But as far as trips go, what did I do? I went to Cougar Buttes, which is in Lucerne Valley, 2 weeks ago, and then I got one trip coming up in 2 weeks and another trip coming up in 3 weeks, like back to back almost. I don't know. I'm gonna do one or the other. I don't know which one yet, but
right on. And
I got some broken U joints. I gotta fix those before I go do that. So it depends on how lazy I am.
What's a U joint?
U joint is the axle shaft, like it comes out of the transmission or the transfer case, and the bar that runs along.
Okay.
The knuckle holds it together and turns. But
well, Tim, what about you? Did we talk about what you've been doing? Or are you not working? I can't remember what we talked about last week, except for what I listened to.
I went to Not Scary Farm on Friday.
Oh, damn.
My first time.
Not Scary Farm, damn.
you're one of those guys causing all that traffic at my house, bastard.
Actually, I didn't even take an Uber.
Oh.
I live right down the street, though. I live right by Cypress College. But I work in Ontario.
Oh, me too. I'm like right by. I'm right off of Holder, in between Mountain Crescent and Sandtrack.
Oh shit! I live off of Holder too.
Damn.
I'm
Holder and Valley View.
Holder and Orange.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, you're a little further down.
Holder and Lincoln?
Yep.
I'm closer to Holder.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
that liquor store was like my
triangulating.
home liquor store.
Eddie's
Liquor.
Yeah.
I talk to Kamal all the time, every day.
Yeah.
That's a spot.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, no, right now I'm working in Ontario. It's a 4-wheel drive, but I mean, it's all right. I carpool, so.
So, Jordan, how did you get out into Texas?
Just visiting, spending some time out here, kind of traveling. Work, permits me to travel quite a bit. So just trying to, get out, see what's going on elsewhere. It's a fun time to travel and meet new people.
Yeah, right on, man.
Yeah.
You said you work in the office. Do you want to disclose what kind of work you do, or would you rather not?
I guess long story short, something like capital investment, just raising the profits of like small to medium sized businesses.
Oh, well, which brings me to my next topic, because I just made a big business move. So some listeners of this podcast might be familiar with my recent struggles with my last employer, who was just basically a dickhead, and was doing very well. For anyone that doesn't know, I'm an electrician, and electrical contracting and stuff like that. Excuse me. So I was working for a guy. Long story short, was doing every wrong kind of shady practice that you can do when it comes to contracting. I mean, pocketing money, not sharing with his business partner, who was supposed to be his partner, pocketing all kinds of money, making all kinds of decisions, not paying overtime. I mean, this guy was just doing everything under the sun that that is unethical. And so,
Is his name John Podesta?
No, his name's Tony Hernandez. But I'm not gonna throw anyone under the bus, Tony.
Right over your head.
Podesta.
Clinton's campaign's chair.
Okay. Oh, yeah. They wanted to assassinate Bernie Sanders. I'm just kidding.
That's how they would say this.
So, anyways, so this guy Jerry, who's a really good dude, we're doing work at a huge church right now, bigger than Cottonwood, maybe double Cottonwood. And it's a brand new thing. They still hold services there. It's a ongoing project, 6 phases. We're at the end of phase 1 right now, and this guy Tony is just being shady as hell. And finally, we found out some information, and it was time to get rid of Tony. So what I did was, I worked for my dad in Cyprus, so I had my dad come down and I told him, laid out the whole scenario, like, look, this is shitty, and I got to the point where I didn't even want to go to work, and sometimes I didn't. So my dad comes down, and we kick Tony out. And now me and Jerry, we kept all the workers. Nobody wanted to go with Tony when he left, and we got a crew of good people. And I couldn't be happier right now, to be honest with you. I got I'm finally getting paid what I'm worth, and everything's going great for me. We got a lot of work to do at this church, and everyone's happy, everyone's cool, and we got rid of Tony and one other freaking tumor. And so that's an update with me. That's what's going on in my life right now. I just couldn't be happier.
Excellent. Hope it works
To be
out.
honest.
Happy for you.
And fuck Tony Hernandez. How about that?
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Which one? There's like 7 million of those bastards.
I'm pretty. It's the 3,215th one.
I probably knew a Tony Hernandez somewhere.
I'm sure we all have known a Tony Hernandez. That's why I can just say his name and no one will.
I know 3 of them, dude.
So don't ever mess with TH Electric or Crowd Electric, because he bought that company without telling anyone and used the church profit to buy a different company. And we don't need to go all the way into it, but let's just say I'm doing good. I'm in a good spot right now. I'm happy.
Excellent.
Right on, Tim. Are you working? I forget what happened with that.
Yeah, I'm working in Ontario for a medical imaging company.
That's right. Damn it. All right. Now that we got all that fun stuff out of the way, Tim, let me ask you first. Who are you going to vote for?
Probably
right
Donald
on
Trump.
spot.
Probably Donald Trump. Yep. And it's not because I support him 100%. It's I'm in that group. It's just like I'm voting against someone, And then when you weigh it out, any vote for any third party, any write-in is pretty much a vote. Like I'm throwing my vote away. So just weighing out the pros and cons, like as a reasonable person, and just looking at everything from an emotionless point of view, and not like single issue voting, then I have to lay out that Donald Trump is the lesser of two evils, in my opinion.
Before we continue on, I just want to let everyone know that, and everyone here is a good dude and respectable, but let's just let everyone finish their thought, and then someone else can have a thought. I just have to say that, just so we're all flying on the same wavelength.
I've already concluded me and Tim need to go have a beer.
I'm down.
Yeah, you guys live right next to each other.
Pretty much down the street anyway.
Just walk to Campus Billiards or something, or the Red Rooster.
The Rooster.
Have you been in the Rooster, Darin?
Twice.
I've never been there. Out of all the dives that
once to find out it was crap, the second time to verify it was crap.
To verify.
Nice. Okay. Well, I am I'm a consummate flip-flopper on a lot of things, and I respect flip-floppers. To believe it or not, if you're so stuck in your ways and in your ideologies that you have no room for anything else, like a couple of liberals that have been on my news feed, and even Republicans that refuse to break form. I don't even agree with the two-party system that much, but right now I'm between Gary Johnson, Donald Trump, and writing in Harambe. That's what, and I think that the whole third party argument. Well, if everyone thought that, then there would never be a third party to emerge from this two-party system. And I know your thoughts on Gary Johnson, Darin, and he's hardly a libertarian. He's more of a right of center freaking Republican when it comes down to it. And some of his antics lately, it's like he's acting more silly than Donald Trump, which is really fucking hard to do in today's age. But all right, Jordan, let's move on to you. What are your thoughts on this election as a whole, and where's your support going?
I don't know. Like, I haven't really decided as far as like my vote. goes, it's almost like dinner. Like I'll look at the menu and I'll really, really decide until the waitress gets there. And it's like, well, I'll take right. So that's kind of how I feel. Like I've loved like this election cycle though, like the stuff that it brings up, the conversations that are being forced upon people finally, like, I'm really enjoying that aspect of everything. Cause regardless of who wins, I think that like the day after that person gets in, there's going to be like a lot of reflection being done in the country, like one way or another. And everyone is going to kind of have to like deal with that together, right? Like regardless whether you vote Hillary or Trump, regardless of who gets in, like that next day, like you guys are going to have to look at each other like kind of like, oh shit, here we go. How the fuck did we get here? Is what people. Yeah. And it's like I have a crazy relationship in my head with Trump because I think a part of me thinks that he could be a good president if he surrounds himself with the right people. I think a part of me thinks that he could be more dangerous than Hillary with the kind of his I always need to win childish antics. Like, what would happen in a scenario where Donald – and Darin, I'll let you answer this. What would happen in a scenario where a jihadist makes his way into, let's say, the L.A. Staples Center and blows himself up at a Laker game? And what do you think Donald Trump's reaction is going to be? Because I don't think it's going to be a level-headed reaction. I think it's going to be like an over-the-top, like selfish reaction.
I don't think so. But, I kind of thought the thing about Trump, too, is he was kind of unhinged and stuff at the very beginning. But then I realized what was happening. The man, I don't care who it is, the man loves America. There's no doubt that he loves America. He says some stupid shit, does some stupid shit once in a while. And to me, it's not even that stupid. It's just like a fumble out of the mouth. He just misuses a word, and everybody's like, oh, my God, it's the end of the world. As far as what Trump would do in that situation, I think he'd be just like any other president, because I really watched his unhingedness at the beginning of this. And I was a Ted Cruz guy from the beginning. So during the primary, I was just going toe-to-toe with Trump. No, screw this guy. I want to get Cruz in here. He's a good Christian dude. Get in here, do this. He's got a clean record, blah, blah, blah. But now I'm stuck with Trump. So got to do what I got to do. But I have watched him transition, especially over this last month, compared to what he was when he was fighting in the primary to get the attention, to bring issues out, and blah, blah, get up in there and mix it up. And his transition over this last month, honestly, has really, really impressed me from what he was doing, say, 2 or 3 months ago. He's surrounding himself with those people. He's starting to take some advice. Some of his advice is like, no, I don't like it. Get out of here. Other advices he's taken, he's like, okay, I like that. Let's go. And I've noticed a bigger transition on that part of him, which is kind of easing my doubts about him. And I'm going to vote for Trump, no matter what. At the beginning, I also thought, oh man, my guy Ted Cruz didn't go. Trump isn't conservative, because he really isn't. I mean, he passes himself off on. He's not. There's a lot of issues he is nowhere close to conservative on, but I won't go there. I'm not going to give the Democrats any edge to attack him on, because that would hurt him. These people going on about, oh, he said this, he said that. That's nothing. That's bouncing off him and nothing. They're not attacking his conservative values, and they're missing that. But which is fine. We need to beat Hillary. I was really thinking about Johnson at the beginning, and then I started looking more into him. I'm like, oh God. And then I started looking at his money and looking at his lenience on where he goes this way and that way on certain issues. And I'm like, oh no, he's a liberal. He's done. And
so you think he's left of center?
Oh yes, very much so.
I think so too.
I mean, you figure, you look at his VP. His VP pick just said he's supporting Hillary Clinton. I mean, come on, how much more left do you need to be? I mean, Hillary Clinton isn't a Democrat. She's a full-on leftist, freaking socialist psycho. There's no question about it. That is not a JFK type Democrat there. That is a full-on leftist. And I just, it's come down to a point with the direction this country's going. a different election, I may even consider a third-party candidate if it were, say, Donald Trump. But I got to remember who we're facing here. This is Hillary Clinton. What happens if she does get elected? Look what's been done so far. I just can't do the whole third-party thought on this because Hillary Clinton cannot get in that White House, period. That woman is evil.
Like, I'm not even like a Hillary fan, but like, why is she evil versus like every other president that we've had?
Because she has sold our sovereignty to other nations.
No other president has done that before.
Not for money, where they enriched themselves.
I'm just asking.
They came out of the White House.
I'm just saying, no other president has done that before.
Off the top of my head, to that extent that I can think of, to that extent.
Now you're saying to that extent, and I'm just saying like it's been done before in politics. Like she's evil because she's the best politician that we've ever had. Like that's what makes her evil, is that inherently in being a politician, she's played that game longer and better than anybody else, and that's the reason why she's in the position that she's in.
Well,
like that's kind of like her. Go ahead.
If it's been done before, who?
I mean, I'm not like a mass historian, but I mean, just in general, probably in mine and your lifetimes, we know that there's been shady stuff with Reagan and the Iran-Contra. We know that there's something shady with the Bushes in the Middle East. We know that there's been something questionable about Obama and the things that he's been doing in the Middle East. Like there isn't really a question that every one of our presidents haven't been like, fully straightforward as far as the politics go. Like that's nothing new for what we're looking for or asking for from a president.
Yeah, but
like
that might be true, but now we have actual proof of this corruption.
Yeah, there's no.
But we've had proof before, though. We've had directors of CIA come forward and say that this is what's happened. Like this isn't nothing new under the sun. Like, and I'm just saying this to say that if you're a staunch Hillary supporter, then I feel like you need to be factual with the type of politician that she is and the type of game that she's been playing all along as a politician. If you're a staunch Trump supporter, then just say he's a piece of shit kind of person. And that's what we're like kind of looking for. Like he's not going to play the political game because he's kind of your everyday piece of shit human being. Right. Like we have friends and talk to people.
That's how we all are, though. We all are a piece of shit in some way.
But do any of us need to be running the country? Well, like some of us like aren't fit to run like a restaurant, right? or Fortune 500 companies. Do we really want like a piece of shit person running the country? Like, and again, if your attitude is like, you know what, I don't have a problem with it because, at the end of the day, it's going to be something new. The rest of the world is going to have to approach us in a different manner than they've ever approached us because a quote unquote, like real American is going to talk to them. Right. It's not going to be a politician coming over kind of, trying to talk over their heads. It'll be a real kind of a-hole from America. And it's going to tell you it like it is. If that's what you're saying, then just go ahead and say that. But, I don't like how a lot of Hillary supporters, claim that she doesn't play the political game. And I don't like how a lot of Trump supporters kind of give him a pass for being basically like an asshole, like a douchebag.
Well, okay, I would say that, and to just go back to his point in the beginning, and Darin, you can be next. I think the difference between what our presidents have done in the past, we found out afterward. But
no, Ronald Reagan. We found out when Ronald Reagan was in office. When Ronald Reagan was in office,
but while he was running for president, because in the age of the internet, you can't get away with anything. So granted, I'm sure every president has done something shady somewhere along the line and has been a piece of shit that you would like to label it as, and which is kind of a broad term because a lot of people fall under a piece of shit. I think that we're finding out ahead, and I guess we're just switching over to Hillary Clinton right now, even though I got a lot more to say about Donald Trump tonight. With the type of corruption that has been proven that she can be bought by anyone with money, including Saudi Arabia, Qatar, United Arab Emirates, people that are clearly our enemies while she's taking money while being Secretary of State. That is like, well, I mean, there's like corruption, there's like shady dealings that Tony Hernandez has done, but then there's like, this is beyond a lie. It's beyond corruption. This is just flat out like almost treason to a certain extent with what she has pulled off with the Clinton Foundation.
They haven't pulled it off. They're in deep shit right now.
Well, and that's another thing that we can talk about is that these investigations that just don't stop. It's one after another. And do we really need people investigated by the FBI that are going to be president?
You guys know nothing is going to come of that.
I believe that nothing's going to come out. But I do believe that
if something was going to come of it, it would have already happened.
But where there's smoke, there's fire. And I believe that, it's been documented that she's paid off people in the FBI or has not at least given them money. So
this isn't the first time, though. Like the only difference is that we have like WikiLeaks so that we can kind of do the reality TV along with it. But like we already know that this is like par for the course. Like this is usual. Like none of this stuff is new. Like you can't ignore Reagan's actions with Iran-Contra and the CIA and some of the stuff they were doing during the 60s and civil rights. You can't ignore our involvement with Saddam Hussein rising to power, right? We can't ignore how our negligence brought about like Bin Laden, Al Qaeda, and ISIS. Like all this stuff is like par for course for every president.
Yep. Well, there's a big difference though. Like you do the Iran-Contra with Reagan. You mentioned that one quite a bit here so far. Yeah.
And I just say that because that goes back to
I'm
mid-30s.
Issue. I get it. And if you look,
no, I'm mid-30s, so I'm just talking about like within our lifetime. This is stuff that we've experienced.
Yeah, well, we're younger. Yeah, for sure. I totally get it. Reagan. That's always my political stuff. That's always a big issue when it comes back to conservative stuff. Is the Contra deal. Reagan did supply weapons in order to support a war to take on Iraq. He did do that. He wasn't supposed to, or whatever the rules were going on. That's what happened for that war. But the difference between Reagan doing that for, say, war reasons or protection reasons, and Hillary Clinton is Hillary is flat out undermining our laws and the American people. Us, me, you, everybody in here, our sovereignty to sell 20% uranium to the Russians, to act above the law and not be punished for her actions because we're just peons, taking these monies from all these different countries. And literally at this point, it really looks like she set the server up specifically to be hacked while she takes money, because now we found out that 5 major intelligence agencies from different countries hacked that server and got all kinds of info out of it. And what Reagan was doing, I get the comparison type with the whole war footing, but this is her selling our own country under the rug, not just oops, the president made a mistake and giving this guy weapons for doing this. All presidents have mistakes. I don't care who it is. This was an intentionally and criminally done, and it's been going on for 30 years, the way it's been transitioning and how they've been running their operation and what's been going on. And I find that to be a major difference in a person's integrity and honesty. I can handle a president going in and making a mistake. A president coming in and doing something on purpose to screw us over. I think that's a big difference.
I mean, I'll just respect your opinion on that. But like, you know, with the Reagan thing, like it was proven that it was intentional. I'm not just talking about the stuff overseas. I'm also talking about the CIA and their the war on drugs and the part that they played. And this isn't like, you know, like urban myth. Like this is the stuff that these guys like have testified about, and that was out then. You know, Reagan held a live national conference and lied to the American people. You know, like, and again, my whole attitude, and I'm just kind of cynical, my whole attitude is all of them do that. Like since you know, I'm born in 82, so, you know, Reagan was basically the first, you know, president in my life. From Reagan to Bush to Clinton to Bush again to Obama, like in general, that's what they're doing. You know, so for the best politician to get blasted for being a politician, I just feel like it's wrong. It's like getting mad at Kobe for shooting.
But it's not. And she's doing it for her own personal gain, though. It's not for political gain. It's for personal wealth, which kind of is a different animal. But Tim, where are you at in this conversation right now? Let's hear an opinion from you if you got one. If not, we could definitely turn it back to.
I don't get what the like drawing this comparison, because right now we're in this right now. We have like the technology and the sources out there to have this transparency that we should have had all this entire time. So I don't think we can just like look at it and just be like, well, other people did it too. You know, it's just like, what do we do about this one? No, and the reason I'm not speaking a lot about anything about the rate, because I'm a couple years younger than you, so I didn't really learn too much. I don't really know too much about that situation. But the thing is, and I'm not trying to write it off like your point. I get your point, but I think now as American people, if we're able to see this kind of corruption, I mean, we can't just write it off and just allow it to happen, you know?
No, I agree with that fully, and I don't want it to be misconstrued. That's why, you know, I was starting off with, at the end of the day, she's a politician, so that's kind of dirty in itself. And like, you know, if you want to say crooked or evil, it comes from the essence of her still being a politician and somewhat self-serving, you know. But that's just the negative thing about her. On the other side, you know, basically just kind of being like a crude, you know, piece of shit kind of dude. I mean, that's the comparison that I would draw. It's not a matter of drawing Hillary to the past. It's a matter of drawing Hillary to who she's running against now. And who she's running against now, like Donald Trump can't even get to the intellectual level of playing those games that Hillary can on a global scale, because he's not versed well enough. Like, in order to be a politician, not even on Hillary's level, but just even on a congressman or a senator's level, you have to be well versed enough in the land of politics. He's not even versed enough to go in and be able to freestyle adequately. You know, he's gonna have to have a full team, and he's gonna literally have to be a CEO of the country, which is unhealthy for the country.
Well, I think that you raise a fair point about Donald Trump and him refusing to take advice before debates. At least I wasn't in the room, but that is what the reports have been said about him. And some of his knee-jerk reactions are kind of concerning for me. That, I mean, what's he going to do when – is he going to make a face like he does every time Hillary, you know, says something bad about him when dealing with, you know, the leaders of Iran or Syria or, you know, Israel or Russia?
That's an interesting point.
I mean, he's got his instinctual reactions to a lot of stuff, and which can be documented. It's kind of a danger. It's like we don't know. You can't act like you know. But a career corrupt politician versus somebody who with no experience. I mean, both seem kind of dangerous to me. I think there's a chance Donald Trump could be a very good president, but there's a chance that he could lead us into World War III and a global economy collapse. You know, it's just really hard to say.
Yeah, Jordan's right about what he said about Trump earlier versus Hillary, because Hillary's like pretty much a career politician, so she's definitely been playing this game at this level for much longer than he has. And I mean, the thing is, obviously, he's not in any way a polished or experienced politician, so I can see why you bring in like the regular dude and who is probably an asshole. And to deal with that kind of stuff, just the constant attacks, the constant slandering, the constant just showing him in a bad light. So he's not used to that kind of thing, and he doesn't know how to play the game. So that's probably why he is the way he is.
And that's his appeal, is that, you know, people want him to like him because he's going to shake things up. Well, I mean, shit, this is America we're talking about. You can't turn it upside down. We shake the political landscape up a little bit because he's not a career politician. He probably can't be bought. But his instincts and his reactions is kind of what – and this is what pisses me off about the general public, is that they don't like Donald Trump for the very wrong reason. They think he's racist. They think he's sexist. And that's exactly what works in today's age when you want to influence opinion. But they're not liking him for the wrong reasons, in my opinion. I don't think.
I gotta take this phone call. I'll be right back.
Go for it, Darin. There's very little evidence that he is racist or misogynist or whatever. What we do have evidence of is that he acts like a little kid sometimes. And do we really want a little kid with his hand on a fucking nuclear button? I mean, that's a scary prospect to me. But if he surrounds himself with the right people, maybe. I don't know. And Hillary on the other side might fucking start a war with Russia. So there we go, because she can't stop talking about Russia. And that really scares me. I don't want to view them as our enemy, because that is going to be the start of World War III. And, you know, who knows what's going to happen during World War III when everyone has nukes now. It's just really scary. I mean, I could keep going on unless someone wants to jump in.
I'm pretty sure Russia doesn't want conflict with us as well. I mean, there's no end game. There's no good end game for anybody.
But they don't give a shit. They don't care. And if we mess with them, Russia has been known to just not give any fucks. And they're going. They're gonna. Same thing with Syria and Assad. Like, I forget how both parties were, but basically, he was supporting Assad. We were going against it. And I mean, Syria almost seems like that's where World War III is going to start. But basically, Russia just doesn't care about our intentions. They're going to do whatever they want. And if we start a war with them, it's not good. And apparently, Putin has tried to call for disarmament. If people that don't know what that means to start deconstructing nuclear missiles, which I think any human being on planet Earth would just like, let's get rid of these things. I mean, as soon as the nuclear bomb was created, there was something called mutually assured destruction, which is possible now. Like, we have the potential to blow every human being off the planet Earth, or make it so that only a few will survive. And who really wants that outcome? And it's a possibility with either of these
You think anybody's really gonna do it? Like, let's say they do agree to it. You think Russia's gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna dump all my nukes, all of them, every single one of them. You know, they're gonna keep a couple.
I don't. You'd be foolish to not consider it.
Yeah, but you gotta consider. I mean, there might be aliens coming too.
I mean, you never expect. Oh, no one's gonna break into my house. But as soon as there's a burglar in your house with a gun, then you better hope that you have a gun too. And it's a situation that no one hopes that they have to encounter, but it's a possibility, and it's not a far off possibility as an ant trying to build a fucking airplane. I mean, there's zero possibility there, but maybe that was a bad analogy. I don't know. So I hate all the doom and gloom and stuff, but Tim, who you don't know who you're going to vote for?
I said I'm 75 to 95% probably going to vote for Trump. And I think the other percentage I'll probably write in Harambe too, just like you.
Harambe.
What you were saying earlier, Nick, I think one of the points you made, I think you might have been a little off on, is that where I don't think the majority of the country, I mean, there's a bunch of idiots in the country, but I don't think the majority of them think that Donald Trump is sexist or misogynistic or racist. It's not that. It's the fact that he harbors and gives safe haven to racist and sexist and misogynist. Like, that's more of the issue. That's what you see from the outside, right? Like, there's quote unquote the deplorables. There's deplorables on both ends of the spectrum, but what you don't see at Hillary rallies that you can see at Trump rallies, you'll see like a lot of those racist kind of remarks being made. That general feel. A lot of his rallies, especially in the South, are somewhat segregated because of the types of rhetoric that is spread within the people themselves.
So you're saying that Trump himself harbors it, or his supporters do?
Well, he harbors it because if you're holding a party, you know what I mean, and these dudes keep showing up in white sheets, right? Like, at a certain point, you're harboring the KKK, even though that you're just saying, hey, this is an open forum for anybody can come. But if every day you're looking up and it's the same people there.
Wasn't that guy Byrd from the KKK one of Hillary's mentors back in the day?
Not during these rallies. Like I said, like it's the people that you see within these rallies. And not one time in the rallies, like amongst the people, do you see this?
Okay.
Like, I'm not going to go into like Trump's dad being in the KKK and like his family lineage with the KKK and all that. I'm not going to talk about like
was he really? That's the first I've heard of it.
Are you serious? Really?
Trump's dad was in the KKK?
Like 99% sure.
Huh.
I'd love you to fact check that, but yeah.
Yeah, we definitely need a fact checker on this podcast.
Yeah.
And I need a secretary. Okay.
Yeah, I'm fairly sure on that one.
So let me reply to that by this. So there are deplorables and KKK and people that are considered racist that go to Trump rallies.
No, they are racist. Like there are some like full blown racists. Like, it's not like it seems.
What about the Hillary and Bernie supporters that come with straight violence? I mean, which is worse? Which is worse?
You can come with violence all you want, but racism is always going to beget violence. Like, that's what racism is hate in itself. If you're going to say that some people don't know self-control, like the video you posted with the lady in Hollywood, right? Like, those are a bunch of idiots that are harassing like an old lady, even though she's saying, like, apparently was saying the dumbest stuff with the dumbest of signs, but leave the crazy old lady alone.
You're right. So what is worse? Is it worse to just think?
You don't think racism is an action. Like racism doesn't stay as a thought. Like racism's eventuality is always an action.
But okay.
Nobody can think, nobody can think such a powerful way, such as race, because, it's hate. Like no one can think that way and then not act upon it during the course of their everyday life.
So racism can't even be words? Is that what you're saying?
What do you mean? Like
you're saying racism is an action. I guess words are action.
Yeah, I mean, but at the end of the day, you don't have to necessarily say something to be racist. And sometimes you can say something and that doesn't mean you're racist.
All right. Well, if we just want to take into consideration 2016, and if you want to leave the cops out of it, which we can get to that. Leave the cops out of it. What has been worse? Has it been Donald Trump supporters that I guess some of them are racist, or has it been Trump haters that have been attacking people physically?
The Trump, because the whole crossing of sort of like that it used to be a very invisible line that you wouldn't cross. Donald Trump was the one that removed that line and said that from the primaries on, it's no holds barred with everybody. So from the get-go, when his rallies, when he would allow physical violence, well, now you're inciting that from both sides because your party is going to do it, and you're telling them, hey, I'll bail you out, right? Like that started it. Now you have the idiots from Hillary's side.
It started on the Hillary. It started at Trump rallies against.
No, it was protests for racism, for, the building of the wall and all of that kind of stuff. But it was protests, and it was nonviolent protests. The first punches, bottles thrown were from Trump supporters. And that's the reason why Trump had to say, hell yeah, like hit him. I want to hit him. And if you do, I'll bail you out. Because that was the first time that it ever happened.
I think there was 2 incidents before that where at Trump rallies there was violence. Before the Anaheim incident, there was 2 other ones where.
Well, you talking about with the KKK rally in Anaheim?
No, that's completely separate. And those people are idiots thinking that they're gonna just come out and say they're the KKK. No one's gonna fucking do anything about it. I mean, what the hell is really going on?
I think he had one in.
Speak louder. Get closer to your mic.
I think he did have one in Santa Ana.
Oh, I got it adjusted. Never mind. I'm sorry.
I don't think that it was the same one where the KKK showed up, though.
I'm pretty sure that it was like within the same 2 to 3 weeks of each other. At the time I was in Huntington.
That's right.
The KKK had actually taken out a permit to have a rally for
right.
Whoever thought that was a good idea. You deserve to be beat up because that is just like in Anaheim. I mean,
I'm saying when that started, what that caused is now it's not Hillary supporters that are reacting to it. Well, now you just have everybody reacting to it. It's no longer a political thing when you're starting to talk about like KKK and you're talking about racism. And that's what I'm saying. The violence comes from that initial feeling that this is more of a divide in race.
I think those 2 are 2 separate ideas. To be honest.
Well, I kind of agree with what he's saying about how Donald Trump did play into it, because he did say about how he would bail someone out or tell someone to punch someone in the face. That's not presidential. That's not something a presidential.
I know. Obama would never say that shit.
Yeah, they would never say that because, I mean, they know better. You know what I mean? And he doesn't know better because he's not. I mean, he says he has that temperament.
And I think that's what makes him dangerous.
Yeah.
I mean,
that kind of talk is dangerous because you got to understand how stupid people are. They'll buy up everything. Like just for example, think about the most average person that you personally know and think about how stupid they are. And you got to imagine half the world is stupid.
Tim, you're just alienating all your friends right now. I hope none of your friends listen to this podcast because
I don't care. I gave them a trigger warning. But that's what I'm saying, though. Half of them are dumber than that, and they will take shit at face value and just fucking run with it. And a lot of these people are popular with other dumb people who fucking listen to them and just buy up all their shit at face value. So then you got the fucking blind leading the blind, and this is what we're left with.
So I kind of feel like and like how you were saying. Thank you, Darin. We actually lost everyone else except for you at one point, but we're all back now. And I go back and edit anything. I'm about to take a pre-break. I'll edit that. I'll probably edit all this out. It's a good thing about being an audio engineer. But all right, so what you were saying about him with those comments of him saying that punch that guy, get him out of here, punch, that's very unprecedented, and this is not a thing where you learn on the job. Like I have a couple apprentices right now that I'm teaching as we go. This is not a job where you learn on the job. This is something that you need to be prepared for before you step into office. And that's just a scary, scary thing for me. It's like he hasn't even been like head of the PTA or governor. Yeah. It's like he's just walking into the biggest political job on earth, and he's not even the head of a fantasy sports league. So that's what kind of scares me. It's but then on the other hand,
you gotta think he wiped.
Then we have Hillary staring at us on the other end, who can be bought, and is probably more likely. I think she's a little more likely to start World War III, in my opinion. That's just me, because she's got it out for Russia. If she starts a war with Russia, I'll tell you what, man, all of our kids and our grandkids are going to suffer, and that's going to be fucking hell. But anyways, go ahead, Tim.
Well, I mean, he does have some experience because, I mean, he wouldn't be able to beat like pretty much the entire GOP guy. Not much to say about those guys in the first place, but I mean, he did beat all of them to become the GOP frontrunner. So that's some sort of accomplishment for someone that's never really worked in politics.
Kanye West is going to win.
No, Kanye West versus Donald Trump debate. I would love
to watch that.
You don't have the answers, Donald. You don't have the answers.
Dude, the two biggest egomaniacs in America just going straight at it. That would be the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, there wouldn't be enough room on the stage for both of them and their egos.
The whole building would implode. So, I don't know, Darin, your thoughts. I saw you came back and you've been listening. I know that's Donald Trump's your... How is it better than Trump?
Big old lag spike there for a second and didn't really understand a word you just said. You want to give that?
Save us from this sinking...
It's happening again.
Yeah, I think it might just be him.
Okay, damn it.
Oh, hold on, it's starting to catch back up, I think. Can you hear me?
I can.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time understanding you. I think I got a lag spike or something going on.
I can hear you fine.
Turn my snare up.
Oh, I think it might be you.
Yeah. I hear everybody else.
Except for me?
Yeah, I can hear everybody else.
Yeah, Travis, I think you were having a lag spike maybe. Anyway, you were saying something and it started going, I just couldn't understand it.
Like robotic?
Yeah, it might be better now.
Are we good?
Yeah.
I think so.
That's what happens when you move to Bakersfield.
Yeah, I heard they got that cheap internet out there.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. So I guess I was getting back to Darin.
I didn't do it.
Well, so you can at least recognize that Donald Trump is flawed in a little, maybe his experience aspect, and how would you say that that's better than Hillary?
Compared to Hillary?
Yeah.
I mean, as far as being an experienced politician, yeah, sure, he lacks this experience of being a politician. But as far as experience in life and common sense, I don't think he lacks that at all. He does say things that come out of his mouth crooked sometimes, like, dude, you could have totally put that a total different way. I mean, I get what he's saying, but it could have been said a little bit more subtly. I'm not really understanding, like, the way out between Hillary and Trump there. Like, just by the way we're talking experience. We know what experience Trump has, and we know what experience Hillary has. We know what the results of Hillary has been. We've been living it for quite a while now.
Yeah, she's she's been a politician for the last 30 years, and her only claim to fame is that she got health care for children.
She's not just a politician. She was the Secretary of State for
she was appointed to.
Taking money from taking money from
period, we see what she has to offer.
And I guess we haven't even. All right, so now since we've spent a good time on Donald Trump.
She's offering higher taxes. She's offering to increase Obamacare by tenfold. She's offering to increase the refugees by 500%. She's offering open borders. She's offering everything that's been destroying this country for the last 10 years.
That's just so we can have a stronger electrical grid, Darin.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Everyone knows that.
And Trump may not be an experienced politician, but he seems to be on the right track with what he says. I mean, he just comes off like a jackass when he says certain things sometimes, but in his heart and what he's trying to say is there. He's not against what they go, he doesn't want the illegal immigrants in. Oh, my God, he hates Mexicans. No, that's not what he says. He does not want illegal immigrants in. You can be from China. You could be from freaking Africa. You could be from Russia. You could be from Europe. An illegal immigrant is an illegal immigrant. Period.
That was totally left open for like interpretation, like the way he said it, and it's just like we all know exactly what he said, but how many people do you see out there that's still saying Trump hates Mexicans?
I see a lot of people that are clueless and repeating what they are told to say by the media and their shepherds.
Yeah.
I always ask him the exact words that he said. Where do you get this out of these different words? And then they're like, well, he said he's going to deport people. Yes, he's going to deport illegal immigrants.
I think that's impossible anyways, but what killed me when he's like, someone's doing the raping, it's kind of like that will get you, that kind of speech will get you through the primaries, but that's not going to win you the election. And he has kind of slowed it down, like you said, Darin. He's kind of been a little more grounded recently as far as his approach to what he's saying. Maybe he's actually taking advice from people now, because from what I heard, that he wasn't. and that's just not good.
Yeah, for a while it seemed to me that he just ignores his PR person. Like, I want to meet his PR person. They're probably the most frustrated person on the planet.
Dude, they probably got a razor blade against their wrist at all times because it's like,
what the fuck did you say this time?
just to end it. So
they're giving them guidance. They're telling them, hey, we all know what you're trying to say, but it would be better if you said it this way instead of being so blunt. And lately he's been pretty good about that stuff, except for when it comes to Hillary, and he's going off on Hillary. But I mean, everything he's saying is basically true. But as far as how he's approaching certain issues like immigration, or just use immigration for example, he's approaching that a little bit softer at a different angle. He still is firm, but he's not. He's having better choices of words now that he's got somebody in his ear saying, "Hey, try it this way," instead of,
Yeah, you noticed that at his last debate when he was talking about like banning all Muslims, and he's like, "No, we're gonna do some extreme vetting instead," something to that effect. But yeah,
right. And that's really what it was from the beginning. It's just people interpreted it like, oh, he's going to ban all Muslims. It's like, no. He said he's going to temporarily ban people from war-torn countries of this descent because, let's be honest, they said they're going to infiltrate us and we don't have a way of vetting them. And then it jumped on his ass, blah, blah, blah. And then you look back in the history of it, Obama did it himself. He did it for 6 months out of Iraq. Carter did it. Throughout war times, that is a common practice. Like, hey, we're at war. These people are we got to stop the flow from this particular part of the world temporarily until we figure out what the fuck.
Yeah.
And if you ask people in border towns that actually have the Mexican mafia running drugs through there, and they make pit stops and basically do whatever they want in these border towns, I wouldn't want to live there. And the stuff that I hear is crazy, and there are rapes that happen, but you can't just say someone's doing the raping, putting all the Mexican people in a bubble. I mean, our southern border is basically a war zone right now, and it's a problem, and it's something that needs to be addressed. And
well,
Obama hasn't done anything to improve that.
I can't defend the way he said that and the way it came off just because that's Trump's bleh. Just get it out there and not thinking. It's just the way he is. It's the way the guy operates. There's no harm intended. It's just he's got a mouth and it flies right out. But I could see how that was interpreted that way and the way he kind of said it. But to his point, Mexico's not sending their millionaires. Mexico's not sending their successful best cream of the crop. And it's not necessarily they're sending them, but these people are trying to get across and go through the channels, and they're looking their other way instead of being like, being a part of helping the problem. They're just turning their head to it. And what Trump is doing, he's trying to get them involved. Like, hey, you got to help. We got to do this. And I can see how it was interpreted that way, but that's not really what it's saying.
Shout out to Korea. Shout out to Korea for sending them their best. Appreciate it.
Right?
Because they only got business owners that come from Korea. I mean, they're opening up, these microchip shops, and they're starting businesses over here and giving Americans jobs. So
I noticed they got a lot of donut shops too. I really like their donut shops.
And that's Vietnamese.
Dude, they run a ton.
No, it's not. I would know.
Like that.
Vietnamese people don't like donuts.
Unless they got dog-flavored donuts.
We have those baguette type of sandwich places. Hey, and dog tastes good, man. You've never had dog before?
No.
Fucking racist.
I like cats. All right. So we're doing pretty good on time. I need to take a pee break. Does anyone need to take a pee break? Or anyone need to leave? I want to talk about some of the WikiLeaks stuff and then some police brutality stuff, and then we'll get the hell out of here. Is that cool?
Sure.
Cool.
Jordan, you cool?
Sounds good. I'll take a leak with you.
Okay. No, you can hold mine. I'll hold yours.
I was gonna say, like, yo, you might want to.
Here's something I've been thinking about a lot recently, and it's on the issue of abortion. And first, I'll start off by saying that I am pro-choice. That I guess you should have the option to do so if you want to. But at some point, it's like so if you're getting an abortion, that kind of means you made a mistake, right? You did something you didn't want to do, and now you have to correct it. So that is called a mistake. A lot of mistakes. Okay, well, that's why there's pro-choice, in my opinion. You make a mistake, there should be some kind of consequence. So I feel that if it's a health issue for the mom, and even late term, it gets kind of squirrely. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but I feel like if you're just a girl out there, and I'm not slut shaming, but you get pregnant because you're out there fooling around too many different guys or whatever, that maybe the lesson that you should learn is to go through that pregnancy and then give the baby up for adoption.
I'll slut shame.
So it's kind of like you can't just like have 7 abortions in a year. I mean, there should be like a rule. You know, I mean, we are talking about human life here, and if you're a believer in God, you know, a human life is precious, and you make a mistake, you have to go through that pregnancy. Maybe you won't make the same mistake again and give the baby up for adoption to a home that is going to do some good for the baby. Now, if it's a health issue, a health concern, then maybe, you know, abortion. And I'm guilty. I had one well, not me personally, obviously, but when I was 16, and it was kind of involuntary. I told my brother that I got my girlfriend pregnant, and he's like, we're going tomorrow. But it was really soon. It was within 6 weeks, you know. And it's a tough decision. It's not a black and white issue. There's a lot of gray area here. Something I've been thinking about that I think that we've been a little too.
Wait. I got a question for you. When you had this, I just got a question. Did you know when you had sex that pregnancy would result in it? When you were having sex?
Well, that it could or that it would?
Either or.
I guess I thought that it could, but...
So you knew what happened when people have sex, that there's potential to be pregnant comes out of that?
Yes.
Okay.
So, yeah, and then it's like kind of... So was there a follow-up to that, or...
Nope.
No, yeah. I guess we know when, but I was 16. You know, you do a lot of dumb shit when you're 16, and you know, maybe fortunately, unfortunately, I didn't have to deal with the consequences of that. I don't know. You know, if I would have had a kid then, my kid would be 16 now. You know, and my life would have been a lot different. Well, I almost didn't have a choice because my brother was like, "We're going tomorrow, and we're going to handle it." And it was my older brother at the time who I looked up to, you know, more than anyone else. And I was just kind of like, I don't know what to do.
Right.
You know, and he had money for it at the time. And
I get the whole young and naive and oops thing, but I think the issue is more along the lines of there are full-grown adult women that have had several and continue to have several. And I'm not just saying just women, because the male is just as bit as responsible.
I disagree.
That at all. Huh?
No, I'm not.
I can buy a condom like she can buy birth control, man.
let's just be real, and it's like kind of like a asshole thing to say, but like, let's be real. At the end of the day, you carry for 9 months, right? Like at the end of the day, if I have a daughter, I have a way more intense, like I have an intense conversation with my son, but for my daughter, it's a way more intense conversation because at the end of the day, the responsibility falls solely on you for your body.
Well, yeah, I kind of agree that.
I know. It's kind of the double standard thing, and it's a little messed up. But at the end of the day, it's like for a woman, it's like you have to take a little bit more responsibility and be more careful with who you're doing and how you're doing it, right? Because it's not that you're just having sex, right? Right. It's that like you're fully in it, you know what I mean? Like it stays in, like and everything, if you know what I mean, right? So like you need to be held at some point, like accountable for that, right? Like the guy, the guy can do the whole thing. Hey, my name is, Tim. I'm from Alaska, and you don't know who I am after tonight.
Right.
Right. You're stuck with it. So I'm just saying that in that, like, I feel like
I could kind of agree, but the thing is, with society, people get all freaked out of, oh my God, it's only the woman, it's only the woman, it's only the woman. I would agree with you on the majority of the part being there, but the male does have to take some sort of responsibility. I mean, I get the whole one night stand or gone. But, the 18-year-old that's had a relationship for a year and has been with this guy for a year and they've been screwing or whatever, both of them need to pony up and they need to be like, well, shit, we need to take care of this. And not in the right. They need to pony up and they need to learn about life real quick because they're about to have a baby. That is their responsibility.
Right.
The incest, the rape, and the medical reasons, which statistically, and you all boil it down, you're looking at like 4% of abortions for legit reasons, other than, oh, I screwed up here, let me have an abortion. And like I said, I get the young, naive, like Travis said here, 16. They do happen, but they're a lot more rare than adult women and men having them. And I'm not going to name names here, but I know several women that have had several abortions, and they didn't learn the first 1, 2, 3, 4 times. It's like, it's not a form of birth control. You are messing with life here, and it's being abused. And people think, oh, you're so anti-abortion. You're right. When it comes to normal circumstances, you should have that responsibility, and you got to man up. But when you get in those small situations, like the medical, the incest, or the rape, that's a tiny percent of what's actually happening. They're using it as a form of birth control, and that's not right. And then to top it off, the government's freaking funding the damn place. They say, oh, well, it's not going directly for abortions. No, but the government is giving the company that performs abortions $500 million so they can allocate money somewhere else. They're freaking supporting it. That ain't right.
Yeah, because you have all your conventional birth control already. I mean, the fact that it got to that far, that means that you made a conscious decision to continue with it and not take care of it before, either by preventative measures or Plan B or whatever. So, I don't know.
And if you're an adult, over the age of 21, and you are still making these mistakes, I think there has to be some accountability, some kind of maybe you've got to go to parenting classes. I don't think it should just be that easy to just get rid of a unwanted child. Or I'm sure there's situations where they break up with their man and then they're like, I don't want this kid no more. It shouldn't be. I don't think it should be that easy to just go get an abortion right now without any consequences, And obviously there's going to be emotional consequences. It's not an easy procedure for the woman. It's hard on them. But maybe it's not enough. I think there should be some kind of consequence for getting an abortion, not just walking past the picket line, for the pro-lifers.
Nah, I don't think there should be a consequence at all.
Well, that's your opinion.
There should. There's no excuse. You're 21 years old. Sorry, you're gonna have to pony up and take some responsibility for yourself and do it.
What, the abortion or the pregnancy?
Pregnancy.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
But as far as like you talking about what was the word we're using there? Not
consequences.
What consequence could there possibly be? Like, what are you gonna
like a limit? Like a limit on abortion?
Not jail time. Yeah, that would be nice. A limit per year, and maybe after you get one, your court ordered classes like a DUI or something. DUI is a mistake, and you get, when you don't want to, that's a mistake too. And you're affecting other people other than yourself. So I don't know.
That's the same thing with DUIs, though. Like, you could possibly kill somebody when you get in a car. I mean, as an adult, especially 21, it's a legal drinking age, what can happen when you get in that car. You might not even be drunk. But you could have had one beer and not pay attention. You got beer in your system and you kill somebody.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just something that has been on my mind since it's been brought up. And with the whole late-term abortion thing with Hillary, and then, saying that she's okay with late-term abortions, but then trying to ban toddlers from having guns. It just, got my brain going.
That was good. Well, what was I going to say? The late-term abortions is a big no-no for me. And I got to be honest with myself, too. It's the United States of America. Unfortunately, we, especially in California, we're surrounded by these people that are like, oh, my God. Abortions is never going to go away. It's never going to be outlawed. At the very least, I want it to be no-go, only medical purposes or rape or incest, period. That's my opinion on it. But I think for a rational society view is, at the very least, the consequences that they're going to do, if they're going to get one, they're going to pay for it themselves and not rely on a backdoor funding or anything like that. Because when it starts hitting their wallet, that's when people start learning. And to me, that seems like a more rational thing, because abortion isn't going to go anywhere, no matter how hard we try, no matter whatever goes on. It's going to be there because it's going to be out there screaming and yelling about it, and activists and stuff.
I think that makes sense. They should have to pay for it. I mean, I'm okay with offering the preventative measures, but I mean, after that, I don't think that should be on the taxpayers' dime.
Right, and that's what makes it so easy for them. Is okay, so Planned Parenthood, we know, gets $500 million per year from the federal government. And what that does is that allows them, because it doesn't go specifically to abortion, because that's how they claim it. It only goes for office stuff. So they get $500 million in toilet paper, pins, and fucking whatever. And they're backdooring and slushing that money around, and it allows these women, instead of, I don't even know what the price of an abortion is. Let's just say it would go for $1,000. It now brings that price down to $500 because it's getting backdoor funded. That's not right. They need to pay full pop. They need to hit them in the wallet, and they need to learn real quick that when you screw up, it's going to cost you a lot of money. And I guarantee you, it'll go down in numbers real fast.
Yeah, and then, flower, but another side to it is too many damn people in this country. We can't really afford so many more. I think I can't say that it's a good thing, but
quit spinning and get rid of these entitlements, and we'll be all right.
Yeah, especially guys. We could wrap this one up now. I think we covered some area and maybe left some stones unturned, but we could get to that another day. I was really happy to have all you guys on tonight. I think this turned out really good. We had some viewers pop in and out, probably about 10 total.
Huh.
So a couple that stayed with us, so that's good. Jordan, would love to have you back on again some other time.
Sweet, just let me know.
Yep, and Darin, hopefully you'll be back, and Tim, pretty sure you'll be back.
Well, I'm gonna go meet Darin for a beer. Probably clean our guns together or something.
Well, right on, guys. This has been Mercury's Cast, and thank you for listening.